Hello, I'm Keith Lewis with Carbon Neutral Growth Fund. I'm here today to talk about our fund. We're raising $25 million for carbon neutral construction of both single family and multifamily. I'm here today to talk to you about a specific two-home plat that we have in West Palm Beach, Florida. Real quickly, let's just review the goals for the meeting. Just want to ensure some clarity. First of all, this takes about 20 minutes. During my conversation, if you have any questions, just write them down at the end. I give you all of my contact information, email, LinkedIn, phone number, and Calendly. I'm upfront about things, so at the end of the meeting, one or two things are likely going to happen. You might decide the offering's not a fit for you. I'm completely okay with that. I truly appreciate your time. And if you are interested, create a Calendly appointment and we can get on the phone or do a Zoom and we can go over any other questions or concerns you might have. Okay, so great. Let's get started. Again, my name is Keith Lewis. This is about an investment opportunity. Investment involves risk. Please contact your investment advisor about questions about this type of investment. The opportunity we're talking about today is a two-home plat in West Palm Beach, Florida. We're raising $2.6 million, $100,000 minimum investment, 15% IRR, targeted investor return, 12 to 18-month investment horizon. We build hurricane-proof, fire-resistant properties in prime South Florida neighborhoods. This is an off-market opportunity in a high-net-worth neighborhood. West Palm Beach, of course, we all know, we see it in the news. It's one of the hottest markets in the country right now. We accept 1031 exchange, self-directed 401k, of course, cash. But we'll talk a little bit more about the opportunity and the properties as we move forward. So a little bit more about me. My name's Keith Lewis. Been in the real estate world for over 25 years, 87 million in real estate developed, flipped, managed, and sold. 17 years securing deals in South Florida. Prior to all this, I did a little bit double duty. 15 years as a sales engineer. I worked on both aerospace and medical solutions up to including clearance type aircraft platforms. At one point in time, I worked on the Joint Strike Fighter and the F-22. And during the 2008 economic crisis, I built, completed, and turned a profit in Atlanta. Quick story there. Bank called me. Keith, bring in the keys. It was Fifth Third Bank. Debbie Poole, never forget the day. She said, Keith, bring in the keys. Sign 2 pieces of paper. You can pretty much give us the house, walk away. And I said, Debbie, no. And she said, what? And I said, no. It took me 2 months, but I did finish the home. And I did sell the home and did make a profit. So I just feel like that's a testament to I don't quit. I feel like we specialize in something what I call round peg square hole solutions. We're an expert in entitlement changes. And I feel like we see value and opportunity in certain lots that other people don't. And in 2019, frustrated with efficiency and sticks and bricks and, my engineering background, looking at cost reductions, I discovered value engineered steel framing solutions, and that's where this all started. Here's a little bit more about my team. Todd Wright, expert in energy conservation, over 30 years in light gauge steel production, committed to environmental stewardship, just brilliant on sustainable and green engineering and making it cost effective to compete with other technologies. That's where he's key. Todd Ellis, very similar. Tremendous sustainable background, works a lot in affordable housing projects, can find ways to keep the cost on this always below typical concrete block or wood frame homes. He also specializes in development review, permitting, and has worked with developers for over 30 years. Tavon Coney, our athlete in the group, Notre Dame graduate, played for Notre Dame football, was playing for the Raiders. He's on injured reserve, but right now he's raising funds for our projects as well. He lives here in Palm Beach County and Palm Beach Gardens, and he also has a nonprofit that he can tell you about later if you're interested. So, our problem. 800 people move to Florida per day. The median age of a home is 67 years. The average is 42. So, if you're moving to Florida, you know somebody moving to Florida, they'll tell you, when you're looking at a house, especially in South Florida, West Coast, anywhere in Florida, lots of older homes. A lot of them are not updated for hurricane code. Hurricane legislature started back in 92 when we had Hurricane Andrew that everybody knows about that literally destroyed South Florida. And this was implemented in 2002. And to be quite honest, a lot of those codes weren't really revised and made really good until about 2010. And of course, if you're looking at houses in Florida, they're typically more than 10 to 15 years old. So you end up with the old stuff that doesn't really have permitting and doesn't really have the code on meeting the most stringent hurricane codes. So that puts us right back in the problem that we fulfill. So one other small thing here that is actually a big thing that a lot of people don't think about is our insurance market is insane. So it's not rare for people to have homeowners insurance that's $14,000, $18,000, $20,000. Matter of fact, it's pretty normal. And right now, the average in Florida is $12,800. Other things that are happening are construction costs. Concrete is insanely expensive right now. Wood costs are through the roof. Don't know why people still build out of wood in Florida, but hey, people do it. New home availability is scarce. You've got a lot of old home inventory, not much newer home inventory. So, we're a good fit for that. We're an excellent solution for all these things. What we offer: exclusive, sustainable homes in select neighborhoods. Our homes are zero wood, zero. No wood in our homes. Nothing to get mold, nothing to rot, nothing for bugs to get into. We're at the same build cost as concrete block. We demand a 5 to 7% higher sales price because of the cost savings on the other side, 10, 15, 20 years down the road. We are hurricane resistant. We are fire resistant. All of our homes have at least a 4-hour fire rating. If there's a fire in your home, they close the door and you call the fire department, and they come and don't even bring a hose in your house. They put it out with a fire extinguisher. Lots of smart home technology, highly energy efficient to the tune of 70% less than a conventional home. And then something that should be number one on this list, and that's our homes are very, very healthy. With the use of magnesium oxide board, our homes are very, very healthy. It gives you more structural rigidity, and of course, they're fireproof. But the best thing about them is that it makes your home air quality very, very high. Homeowners insurance, you can expect it to be 60% less than conventional block build homes. We're looking at on average, and there's no science behind this, it's just what I'm seeing. You're looking at about $1 a square foot. So if you buy a 3,000 square foot home from us, you're looking at about $3,000 a year, and we're pushing to get that to even less. Speed to market, our homes are built extremely fast because a lot of them are built off-site in a warehouse. They are not modular. However, they are a structural steel component that we order and we install. So it makes them very quick to build, very structural rigid. And on top of that, again, back to hurricane rigidity, we're over 200 mile an hour wind rating. So we're way, way up there. Some of the things to some of our investors that you may appreciate is green tax credits and also a K1. Now let's talk about the market. West Palm Beach to Delray Beach, this corridor is one of the hottest corridors in the country. Okay, close to the beach, affluent areas, close to Delray, close to West Palm, close to the airport. It's actually an amazing place. I live here myself. The migration trends here are very high. We have very high net worth buyers moving to these neighborhoods. Affluent individuals such as Elon Musk, Steve Wynn. A lot of people are moving down here for the lifestyle. A lot of people are moving down here for technology. A lot of people are moving here from New York and California. So what they are seeing are inventory constraints. And despite the surge in demand, the availability of new good homes is very limited. And prices for these homes in this corridor are anywhere from $1,100 to $1,500 conservatively, with stuff that's even on the intercoastal waterfront, not on the ocean, on the intercoastal, that exceeds $30 million. So these are in some of the same neighborhoods we're building in. Then you've got the tax advantages. The governor's talking about reducing or eliminating property tax, and if that happens, we're all going to have another talk because I think it's going to double property values, but that's a whole other thing. But either way, it's being discussed. And if even there's a homeowner's property tax reduction, it's going to be the Wild West. Okay, so now let's talk about our properties specifically. They're convenient to downtown. They're close to either West Palm Beach or Delray Beach, always close to the beach. The beach is never more than 5 to 8 minutes away. The airport's never more than 10 or 15 minutes away. Trump Mar-a-Lago, Palm Beach, lifestyle, All the homes you see on this page are not generated by AI. These are real homes that sold in these neighborhoods. You're looking at $1,500 plus for some of these homes. West Palm Beach is in the news every day. And of course, Wall Street's creating Wall Street South in downtown West Palm Beach, bringing more affluent people to town. Vanderbilt is building a graduate campus here, bringing more affluent people to town. So it's a great place to be. And of course, when you're talking about steel frame, magnesium oxide board building materials, it's something that a lot of people want. A lot of people are looking for it. And right now, we're going to talk about that a little bit more as far as people are looking for it. This is our investment strategy. Disrupt. Of course, we're disrupting. We've got one of the most advanced, easy to build models out there. And we've already talked about hurricane proof, fire proof, healthy living. And of course, there's many, many other benefits there that bring your cost of ownership on our properties down because of the insurance and the long-term ownership. Density of population. We're always east of I-95, and more so, we're typically east of A1A. So you're looking at, Federal Highway. You're looking at 100,000 people in a three-mile radius. We get that in spades every time. Desirability location, it's the beach. The beach is always a few minutes away, close to downtown West Palm. I've beat it like a dead horse, but of course, these are some of the most desirable places to live in the country. Desirability layout, this gets a little bit more technical. Me, as well as some of the engineers, partners, we're always looking at other designs, things that are desirable in the layout, new technologies. We're always keeping that at the forefront of our next design. Demographic affluence, again, we already talked about the affluence moving to the area. We're getting that in spades and then some. And then demand generators. This comes from BlackRock. BlackRock has a lot of real estate demand generators that are based on Starbucks. Typically, with most of our properties, you have a Starbucks that's in walking distance, so we get that. You'll typically have places to eat, trendy restaurants, as well as Publix, which is where you do a lot of shopping. You typically have that within a short car ride or a bicycle ride. And then, again, we're in South Florida, so we're getting everything on this page in spades. Here's our process, simple Gantt chart of how our homes are built. I constantly have a spreadsheet of 30 plus opportunities. And what's happening is it's constantly an in and out, churning in opportunities, moving them up. When we raise money for a particular opportunity, we're looking at getting that opportunity under contract or already having it under contract. I get them under contract for a long time. I want them contract for 90 to 120 days. At that point, we're applying for site plan, setting up engineering. We get the approvals on the site plan. We're also doing a lot more things with engineering in the background to shrink the rest of these that you see on the screen. Once we have the property ready to close, we close on it, immediately get it into approved site plan, approved permits. You're looking at about another 60 to 70 days to get the permits back. Then once we get the permits back, at this particular time, we're already listing it online as a home that's for sale for new construction. We'll talk a little bit about more of that in a second. But we've got 180 days on here. That's conservative. You're typically going to end up closer to probably 120 days. So we're constantly trying to shrink this down as much as we can. And once that's done, we're going to sell it to REIT, private equity, or a private party. With our strategies in these neighborhoods, you don't really see things that are on the market much more than 60 days. If you did, there's something going on in the economy or there's something wrong, which of course we're going to talk about as well. But we're typically marketing these things way ahead of time. So you're going to see them under contract. We're going to try to get them under contract in weeks rather than months. At that point, we're going to close and release investor returns. So let's go back to our exit strategy and talk about some of the things that we saw in the previous slides. Exit strategy, you're going to sell to REIT, private equity, private party. We market our builds, Facebook, LinkedIn, and MLS 6 months in advance. We maintain a curated list of potential buyers. Because of the healthy home, because of the sustainability and green, we're starting to get a contact list that exceeds 2,000 people now, and I'm constantly marketing those people. And then, of course, it's just out there generically on MLS, so it's constantly getting traction. If something were to go sideways, not as bad as the 2008 scenario, but if we don't get what we want, of course, we could do a price reduction. If it got really bad, like 2008, 2009, of course, we could rent or Airbnb. The rents are very high. The Airbnb is really high. I don't expect another Black Swan event, but I like to be prepared for it because I've been there. Of course, we could fire sale it. If you had to do a significant price reduction, we're going to bounce back to our build costs. Our build costs are cost, okay? Not with profit and everything else, but our cost is about $350 a square foot plus the land value. If you have a sales price that's somewhere in the $1,500 a square foot, we're doing okay. There's plenty of margin there to pay everybody back, move forward, disposition the property. It's there, it's comfortable. I feel like we've got a lot of profitability where things can be moved around and everybody can be made whole and more than likely still make target returns. Risk mitigation. Let's go a step further. Permits and zoning. We get site plan approval before closing. Budget and cost overruns. We always have a 10% contingency. Stalling, slow project. Our project managers have a significant amount of experience. They're also heavily compensated on the certificate of occupancy or completing the project. So they're always pushing to get the project done, get the landscaping in. And also, you know, our processes and steel framing is just inherently fast either way. Natural disasters, you know, steel frame, magnesium oxide board, it's all weather resistant. It could get wet a dozen times. It's not going to hurt the property at all. Experienced general contractors in multifamily construction and single family construction. You know, I have 30 years here, but between everybody that's management board, project management, you're talking 50 to 80 years of experience and very broad, deep Rolodexes of people. So I feel like we've pulled this down significantly and we have a significant amount of control of completion. Here's my personal track record. 77 units flipped, 8 residential units built, 4 multifamily built. I've been doing new construction since 99. 15% IRR is our target, and I've done commercial, residential, and land development. With all of us, I say 50. That would just be me and Todd if I included both Todds, you know, Kevin, Rick. I mean, we're pushing 80 plus years. Current projects in the fund. The fund I'm raising for right now is Forest Hill. It's 2 properties. We constantly have other funds and other properties in the fund. So we're also raising for other projects and other properties, but this is for Forest Hill here in West Palm Beach. It is 2 2,900 square foot homes, both with pools and a cottage on quarter acre. Target numbers we have on the next slide. We're looking at investor capital of 1.6 million. Bank loan of 1.4, you're into it for 3 million. Description of uses, you know, sale proceeds on this property should be around 4.5 or thereabout. So once we subtract our transaction costs, land costs, and returning your capital, we're at 1.52. You know, we also already had the 10% contingency in there. So a lot of this is, again, high margin, very good deals, typically multiple properties at a time, so you're secure. And as we move forward, this again is the opportunity. Reg D 506C, accredited investors only, of course, $25 million fund size, $100,000 minimum investment, 12 to 18 month investment horizon, 15% targeted investor return. We can do 1031 exchange, self-directed 401k, also cash, of course. If you are a 1031 candidate, schedule a link now and just click on my Calendly. We need to talk. I have several different 1031 tax attorneys involved to get your money out of an opportunity or out of your qualified intermediary into this. And there's many, many other opportunities there with this tax advisor. So if you do have a 1031, please call me. I can help you even if it's not for me. Now on this opportunity, I'm reaching out to right around 3,250 investors in my database. A lot of them express interest because I email them all the time. You're new, so it's a very exclusive opportunity. A lot of people realize what we're doing here in South Florida. Hurricane resistant, fire resistant. Properties have low insurance. Very, very high demand here in South Florida, especially in these neighborhoods. This is an early access opportunity. It's going out to my database now as well. Once it's filled, we move on to the next. And I'd like to close the deal the middle of May, so my timeline's moving quickly. But it's there. I'll give you a little bit more information now to understand us. Constant continuity, monthly newsletter, LinkedIn. I like LinkedIn, so you can always contact me there. Quarterly updates, and in the next slide, you have all of my information. So here, email, phone number, set up a Calendly here at the bottom. Very easy. Of course, I've got the QR code. You can find all my information there and take it with you. Presumably, you're interested. Let's talk, schedule an appointment. I really appreciate your time. Look forward to talking to you soon, and have a great day.